better, you will never find. I've been in my bag like groceries. Competition shouldn't take shots, take notes, please. Reporting live from the winter side. Ready to try, keep a different vibe. Is you down the ride, never tired. You will never know, you ain't never tried. Work it out, hit the gym, hit the field, hit the wind. Hey yo, I need that. Big chips, man, I need that. Hustle hard, on the job, you can see that. On my head is real good, we don't need your feedback. They clear the way when my crew coming through. What I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. What I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. Now what I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. Yeah.
The coach, as you know, being over in Orlando, still a bit warm here in Florida, but really all things considered, a wonderful fall afternoon for football here in Tampa at Raymond James Stadium. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Detroit Lions and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line.
Get up, 90, Wolf.
Rip right.
Get it.
They'll run with Henderson here to begin the drive. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
Second and 6, just inside the 30.
22 jet bomber, 22 jet bomber. Hey, Charlie.
Second and 6. He finds his tight end, Howard. That's complete. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up third down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
And they'll look to avoid an early 3 and out here on 3rd and 4.
Hey, team 6, 5.
Operating from the gun, Mitchell. And he's got a man. It's the tight end, Howard, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. It's a gain of 20 and picking up the first.
First and 10 at the 49-yard line.
Let's go. 60 or.
Get ready, get ready, get ready.
Now.
Henderson now on 1st and 10. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 10 yards there and a Buccaneer first down.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
Watch time. Tight end right, tight end.
They'll run for the first time with Peyton Barber. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Protein spill.
To throw is Mitchell. To throw on 2nd down. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
They had the incomplete pass on 2nd down. Now they need a big play here, 3rd and 10.
Hey, zoom.
From the gun, Mitchell. And that's knocked away and incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And his kick is good. He got every bit of that one as it's good from 56 yards out. So the opening drive does yield points, maybe not the 7 they wanted, but they'll take the 3.
Accumulating first downs does not go up on the scoreboard, but it does go into the DNA of a team that's trying to establish itself to start a game. That has to feel pretty good for them. They'll take the 3.
Yeah, they had 3 first downs and 3 points. That'll be taken in the end zone.
That's it, baby. We go.
At their own 25-yard line.
Stafford and the Lions now have it 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll run for the first time with Johnson. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down, a very solid gain on that play.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30.
Hey! Banjo. 54 much.
Here's Stafford. That's caught by the big tight end, T.J. Hockenson. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. It's a gain of 10 for the Lions and a first down. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Stafford going to give this one off to Johnson. He'll take this from the 40 up to the 45 for a gain of 5. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched him more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
We own them. Check 52. Hey, 5-0. Lucky.
On 2nd down, Johnson. 5 yards on 1st down, but now just a 1-yard pickup there on 2nd.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Stafford. And the pressure gets to him and brings him down. Stafford is sacked. Carl Nassib, he's the culprit, causes a loss of 5, and it brings up 4th down. Jack Fox now gets set to punt. He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. Oh, he's going to go ahead and field it from the 3-yard line. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And the Bucs are going to take over 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. On 2nd down now, it's Henderson. And they're able to bring him down at the 20. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. He was well over 100 yards last week. He told us this week, a little ambitious, said he wants to hit that 200 mark. We'll see.
Makes sense, though, doesn't it? Have we ever run into a running back that had a great game the week before that didn't think that's just going to naturally continue? Just make sure you feed me the football. And that's what they're all about. Continuity, rhythm, number of carries. Just keep giving it to him.
Back to throw. Mitchell looking for Perriman there. He's got him. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Now a deep ball there on second down, but it'll wind up incomplete. The intended target was Chris Godwin, and it's 3rd and 5.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice, getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass.
Hey, foxtrot.
Check, 42's the mic.
Get it.
Now Mitchell operating from the gun. And that's complete. It's Watson. That's good for a Buccaneer first, a pickup of 12 yards.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Ready up.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. On the carry is Henderson. Yeah, give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6.
Hey, exit.
You can't block me.
Right here, guys. Fight 51. Mike, 55.
Mitchell, off play action. And that's caught inside the 30. That goes for a gain of 31.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great. And what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big gain. On the draw, this is Henderson. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. Second down, it's Henderson. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down. So from 2nd and long, now we go to 3rd and very manageable.
Yeah, they love that phrase, don't they? Because as an offensive coordinator, you can keep people a little bit off balance in guessing because you don't have to throw it. You can come back with a strong run game if you want to. And if you're in 4-down territory, that really opens things up for you.
On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. Detroit was up for the challenge through the air. They force a 4th down.
These guys had to settle for a field goal their last time moving the ball down the field. They may have to do it again on this drive. That could be frustrating.
Yeah, I don't want to be cliche, but at least they were able to get 3 last time. 3 here, not the worst thing in the world. So the field goal there caps what winds up to be an 11-play drive.
Well, partner, that's a lot of offense to run there to only get 3 points. So I just wonder, are they going to recycle those plays because they were successful in getting 3? Or do you go to another section of the playbook trying to find ones that get you into the end zone, get you 6?
And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They are still in search of their first points in the ball game, but only down 6-0 as they begin with a first down. He's going to fire one deep over the middle, and that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. Second down.
Well, they went for the big play there, but that drop could really hurt their momentum.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
You must be dreaming. Check three, check three, check three. 32. Hey, I-7.
To throw again. Stafford throwing deep for Galladay. A throw for Galladay is going to be intercepted. Picked off at the 21. And a great return as he takes us up just shy of the 45.
Brandon, this is a veteran quarterback back there. He should know better than to make a throw like this. This is definitely not his best ball, and I think he knew this was trouble the second it was leaving his hand.
The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. And their two drives thus far both led to points, albeit both field goals, so the lead just 6-0, but the ability to move the ball is evident.
Well, that's, heartening, as they say, but it's not what they're about. What they're about is putting the ball in the end zone and putting sixes on the board. So if you're the offensive coordinator, you like what you're doing, but you don't love it. You've got to find a way to ring that bell. Then you can have a little self-satisfied grin. Right now, a little more determination is needed.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10.
Hey, Echo. Mike's 40. Mike's 40. Hey, we heavy on the edges. Heavy on the edges. Check, check. Ready?
Mitchell now. Off the play fake. There's the Penn State man. It's Chris Godwin. It's a gain of 16. First down, Tampa Bay.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down. You mentioned very early on the need to establish a running game for this young QB. They really haven't been able to do that, though, in the first half.
So that means what in halftime? Adjustments time, right? Figure out what they are, figure out the things that they really want to accomplish, and who to run behind. Which are your better blockers? Find those guys and get in that direction.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
Well, I think you have to chalk that one up for the defense there. Someone right on the spot, excellent coverage, didn't leave him enough room to come down inbounds, even though he did catch the football.
The Bucs on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 11.
Mike 42, Mike 42. Go. You got it, son. 42's Mike, 42's Mike. Check.
Here's Mitchell. From the gun, he'll throw. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down.
Sure, that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield, but that's okay because the second part of that is if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense you're trying to stretch them out a little bit, and they may have to change accordingly.
And that will wind up just short. He had it on line. It ran out of gas at the end, and this score will stay right where it is.
Well, he's got a big leg, and when everything comes together, he can certainly hit from long range, but this one's going to come up just a little bit short. A very good effort, though.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first 2 drives.
And I think the game's starting to take shape a little bit now. And I'm going I'll take it into the basketball world. When you're having trouble scoring or moving the ball in basketball, what do? Get it to their best player, right? Find a matchup, create it, exploit it, and try and move the football.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Here's Johnson. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 11 yards there and a Lion first down.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
They stay on the ground on first with Johnson. And able to work his way down to the 16. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
On 2nd down, it's Johnson. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And they're going to have a 3rd down. The shotgun snap for Stafford. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
So they do get 3 points, but that's now 3 drives with only the 3 points, not a ratio that's going to win you many ball games.
Not at all, Brandon. And think about it this way. We all know payoff is the key, right? And wouldn't we love to have the concession on every T-shirt that's been printed in football that says finish on it? Because that's the mantra everywhere. Got to be able to finish drives, put points on the board.
Prater now will send it away following the made field goal. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. Now they're about to come up on drive number 4, but so far just 2 field goals on drives 1 through 3.
Wondering if the head coach has talked with his offense coordinator and said, look, let's go ahead and press this a little bit. I'm giving you 4 downs on just about every occasion to try and get this offense kick-started and have it culminate in touchdowns. You know, maybe something to press it a little bit. This might be the case.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line.
Let's go. Hey, Mike.
Here's 2nd and 8. Being chased out left. And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. Trey Flowers, the former Arkansas Razorback, in there to get him.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
The Bucs on 3rd down. 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 11. Operating from the gun, Mitchell. But when this ball's tipped and intercepted, Darius Slay with a pick. And his guys will set up shop at midfield at the 50-yard line. 3rd and long that time. He was trying to make something happen, but a little too risky.
Well, the field tilted on him. And what I mean by that is what you said. 3rd and long. Got to push it downfield to try and pick up the first down. Defensive backs live for this situation, and they took advantage of the young man right there.
Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. The throw right side is complete here on the first play of the drive, and he gets this inside the 35-yard line. First down Detroit, 16 yards on the pickup. From the 34 now, here's first and 10.
I got you, boy. I got you, boy. Slam, slam, slam.
Now Johnson. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down.
Hargraves on the tackle. 4 yards on the pickup. Second and 6 at the 30-yard line.
Ready.
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football.
Get in the right room.
We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll send you cross-state to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman will have all the stats and all the scores from games going on during another busy Sunday in the National Football League. On second down now, it's Johnson. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
Nice job there finding room to maneuver, and he worked his way into another first down. And look, they had great field position to start, but boy, they've done a nice job taking advantage of it.
Now they're just hoping to cap it off. Now on the heels of that run by Johnson, here's another first and 10. Now Stafford. A throw for Galladay is going to be intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Zach Brown. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. That's sort of a second quarter to forget for him. Now 2 picks in this frame.
Almost as if the first one that he threw, he couldn't shake, couldn't get it out of his head. He ends up throwing a second one as a result.
Compounds the mistake a little bit.
Yeah, you got to be able to forget, compartmentalize, whatever you want to call it, and move on. He hasn't been able to do so here in the second.
A really nice gain of 25 yards.
That was an excellent read right there. Saw cover 1. That means it's just a single high safety. So you know if you throw the ball to the outside part of the field, help is going to be a little bit late getting there. And he puts one out there for a big-time completion.
And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. 10 yards there and a Buccaneer first down. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Off play action. Mitchell. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1. Well, the incompletion, yes, but maybe here not the worst thing in the world?
No, not on first and 10. It actually gives them a chance to regroup, relax just a little bit. They huddle up, talk it over. Then they get a chance to continue their drive.
Hey, Mike's 42. Mike's 42. Check 37. Check 37. Hey, Charlie. Shoot.
To throw is Mitchell. Throwing again. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's third down. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
Now Mitchell on third down. And that will be incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces fourth down. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback.
At their own 20-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. You're down 3 under a minute to go. How aggressive are you going to be in this spot?
Not as aggressive as I probably would want to be. Only down 3. I mean, it might as well be even going into the half. That's not a deficit that makes me want to push it and potentially make a mistake in this situation and cost myself even more points.
But, boy, getting into field goal range and tying it, that's tempting.
Awfully enticing. You almost talked me into it.
2nd and 9 now from the 21. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off around the 41. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. Well, what do you think? You get the ball off the turnover near the middle of the field. You take a shot here in the first play?
You know I'm big on that. I love when I have great field position after a turnover. I feel like I might have them a little bit off balance. I prefer to take a shot, but a lot of coaches will tell you only do it if you trust the guy who's got the football in his hands. Meaning, if it's not there, he won't force it downfield and maybe turn into an interception. He'll go to the check down, go to a second option, and go ahead and take the play that's in front of him.
Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And with the way this offense has played thus far, to be frank, they got to feel pretty grateful to be in the ball game.
I would agree with you totally, because they've done all of nothing offensively in this game, yet they still find themselves in a position on this drive where a touchdown can give them the lead. They need to take advantage of it.
Yeah, they're still looking for that first touchdown here in the third quarter. All they have so far, the field goal. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Out of the gun, Stafford. Open man is Galladay, complete. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
This defense tightening up a bit. That last catch just 1 yard, making it 3rd and 9.
Easy. Hey, shoot.
From the gun, here's Stafford. This is Johnson. He's got it. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 11 yards there and a Lion first down.
Good route, good pickup for first down yardage, and that is a tough one to cover, the angle route, because a running back getting out of the backfield, if you're trying to cover that, especially if you're in the linebacker spot and you're seeing this play develop, he heads out towards the flat first, and that often gets you to overcommit running in that direction. Then he cuts back up inside you into the middle of the field. That's what we just saw there for a nice pickup.
And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. 25 yards that time.
Hey, you set! Get away! Tighten up!
They're going draw play. Stafford to Johnson. And he'll be taken down at the 33, a pickup of about 4. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on 2nd down.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6.
Hey, pick your game up. Zero. Hey. Come on, D. 45.
Throwing is Stafford. He completes it to Jones. And this is going to lead to another first down as the tackle's made at the Bucs' 15-yard line. Well, this is how you shake the thoughts of that interception on the last drive. You come out and start this one 4 for 4.
And watching him throw it around with that type of confidence reminds me of a guy I played with way back when who told me, I don't care if I throw 10 interceptions in a row. I'm going to stay confident, keep flinging it. I just figured there's something wrong with the football.
Back to throw, Stafford. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
It's easy to see when we review this that the ball needs to come out quicker, because if you don't throw it right on the break, you bring a crowd of people into the equation.
And that's why it got knocked away there. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. They go back to the ground with Johnson. And power running here down to the 6-yard line. Pretty good running there, 9 yards. Sets up a 3rd and 1. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
Hey, give me radar. Hey, Alpha.
Stafford looking to throw on 3rd and 1. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Vernon Hargreaves with a pick. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed? Are they showing him things different than what he expected? For the 2nd week in a row, he's throwing it to the guys in the wrong color shirt.
Yeah, he better figure, whatever the reason is, he better figure it out. Now a throw right side taken in here to start this drive. A well-executed 22-yard gain. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 10 at the 42-yard line.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10.
Let's go. Pick it up, D. Get it.
Mitchell, off play action. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
Hey, box drop, box drop. 61, matchbox lights. Tight dog, tight dog, tight dog. Hey, exit.
And the blitz does come. And this one caught by Cameron Brain. And he gets this only to the 44-yard line. Not near enough to keep the drive alive.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he can scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
And for an offense that is struggling, this is not where you want to start from. Great punt.
Fantastic punt. And for all those who wonder, what do punters do during the course of practice each and every day? The best ones do what we just saw there. Work on positioning the football and helping their team.
Stafford and the Lions now have it 1st and 10 from back at their own 10-yard line. On the ground, this is Johnson. And he's able to get this one all the way past the 30. That good for 22 and a 1st down. Even from up here in the booth, the play-by-play guy could tell that there was some pretty good blocking on the right side of the line.
Well, you have good eyes, and it's almost like a ballet when it's executed that well. Everyone in the right spot, everyone in sync, everyone hitting the perfect notes. A little more percussion and a lot more bass, I would think, than you get your normal ballet. But at the same time, that was well executed.
8 yards on the pickup. Brings up 2nd and 2.
8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. They'll run it with Johnson. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a 1st down. Keep the sticks moving.
A first carry for the converted wideout, J.D. McKissick. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
No gain on the play. 2nd and 10 at their 49-yard line.
Set. 250. Hey, 70. 54. So we got man. Mike spot 4. Mike spot 4.
Here's Johnson. He's been busy this afternoon. And he's able to get across midfield and down into Buccaneer territory.
That's a really good job right there. Just kept stringing that play out, pushing him further and further towards the sideline. Really good fundamentals by that defense.
He was trying to put his foot in the ground and turn upfield. He just couldn't.
No, they really had a picket fence in front of him. No room to find to get upfield.
Throwing on third down, Stafford. He's going to let this go for the end zone. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's fourth down. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play. I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14.
Check hot route. Hot. Hey, wahoo. Step.
Mitchell now operating from the gun. Shedding through the defense. And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this third quarter. Back now in Tampa. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the fourth quarter. The Bucs on third down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This is 3rd and 4.
Hey, high 7.
Here's Mitchell. From the gun, he'll throw. Oh, incomplete. Nearly the pick they needed. They would have loved one there, but at least it does get them to 4th down. Critical play in this football game, because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that if they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. And they'll start the drive on the ground with Johnson. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. 2nd down. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL. And he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. The Lions on 3rd down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 10.
50. No. Real right, 22. Real right.
From the gun, Stafford. Going up top. And they almost had another one. They are all over the football in this game. Nearly another pick. Now 4th down. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary, it really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. And especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to them.
And that's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And the offense will come back out deep in their own territory. The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
Then they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. They'll run with Henderson. They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6. A tight game like this, such a tough spot for the offense to be in. Even though they have the lead, Charles, back up so close to their goal line, they got to protect the football.
And that's when you have to take care of your team with play calling as well. Not a lot of misdirection, not a lot of counters, not a lot of plays where you have extra ball handling. Get it right to the hands of your running back, tell them to take care of the ball, and try and move forward.
A nice first down pickup on a gain of 6.
Couldn't just sit on it here, could they? Had to throw the ball on 3rd down. Got the big completion in the pickup. Fresh set of downs now. They've got to feel great.
And defensively, a backbreaker. This quarterback now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. From the gun to give to Henderson. He finds an opening past the 40. All told, it's an even 30 and a first down.
I think we're seeing the effect that runs like that are starting to have on this game. They're a little bit slower, that front 7 reacting to the football, almost like body blows in boxing, slowing them down, and they're really starting to take over in this game.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10.
Hey, go! Hey, let's get in that hole! 50, let's go! 50.
Off the play fake. Mitchell looking deep downfield. And that'll wind up incomplete. Trying to give his man room to run under it, but it's 2nd down.
One thing I know from experience is that when the deep ball is thrown and you're the defender, you've got to fight that little bit of panic that emerges. You've got to play the ball really well. It's a 50-50 jump ball play. And guess what? They took a shot. How are you going to win it? And in this case, they managed to get it done.
We want it! Come to my work!
On 2nd down, it's Henderson. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And they'll be facing a 3rd and 12.
Ready? 951. Strip the ball. Hey, Delta. 51's the mic. 51's the mic. It's coming this way. Here we go. Get it.
Operating from the gun, Mitchell. That's taken in by Henderson. And he can only get this to the 42-yard line, and that is not near enough.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. That's on target, but it's no good. He had it on line, but it came up just shy of the crossbar. And this score will stay right where it is. Maybe an important 4th quarter miss as this stays a 3-point game.
Yeah, now overtime is very much in the equation here. Just what you mentioned, a 3-point game. They get a drive, put it through the posts. we could have some free football, couldn't we?
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. Stafford on first down. Screenplay, Johnson. Only 3 there on the screen at second down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. You tackle them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
On second down now, it's Johnson. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. It's a gain of 14 and a first down for Detroit.
Boy, where would these guys be without his performance on the ground? That puts him over 100 yards now for the afternoon, and I tell you, he seems to be getting stronger as the day goes along.
Johnson. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down. Now I think we're going to get a timeout here. Yes, a timeout here as it looks like we've got a Lion that's shaken up. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. One receiver left, 2 to the right.
Check 13. Check double right.
On second and 1, Stafford forced out to his left. He'll run it. 4 yards there as they let him out of the pocket, and he got enough for the first.
All right, partner, I'm a defender, but I've got to express my admiration there. Moving around, making it happen, and instead of worrying about protecting himself, he goes and gets the first down. I've got to give it to him on that one.
Normally, you don't want your guy taking shots, your quarterback, but it's winning time here in the fourth quarter. If he needs to make those plays with the legs, go ahead, right?
Yeah, no doubt about it.
And he is going to go down back at the 11-yard line. Zach Brown making his presence felt in the backfield.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Had the interception earlier, now a sack. But he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
And a short pickup there down to about the 9. Only a yard there, and that'll bring us to 3rd and goal. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. They face a critical 3rd and goal now in a 1-score game. Steps away to his left. He may try and run for this. The decision to tuck and run gets him 3, but that's not enough. Now it's 4th.
A 3-yard gain brings up 4th down and goal.
So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. From the left hash, a chip shot here. And the 13-year man puts it through, and we are all tied here in the final stages. So a big kick to get this back to even. Now the worry is, did you leave too much time on the clock? Because another field goal the other way, that does you in.
You're exactly right. You didn't get it to overtime yet. So now as a defense, you've got to think to yourself, you can't play prevent defense and just give up big chunks of yardage in front of you, but you also can't let anyone behind you. So you sit right on the line between the two, play the best defense you can, and not make it easy for them to move the ball downfield.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And they had compiled a pretty long drive last time. Unfortunately, though, it ended with no points after the missed field goal.
And that can hurt the psyche of a team because as they drove downfield, You know you're never supposed to count points in your mind until they go up on the board. But let's face it, we've been there. We've seen teams before. They were counting on those points. They didn't get them.
And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Justin Coleman. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line. CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
31 yards there to first down. A game-winning field goal would be a chip shot from here. Let's see how they play it on first and goal. They'll try and run. This is Johnson. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. David Johnson. His first touchdown on the year. And the Lions have taken the lead. Prater for the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. They're down here in a one-score game. At the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation, late-game situation. What are we going to do when we have the opportunity? They've called these plays a bunch of times. Now's their chance to execute them.
Yeah, they have the opportunity now. Here's the execution. He's back to throw, and he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Trey Flowers in there to take him down, and the clock will roll. He'll look to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And unable to connect. Incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up fourth down. That would have been a tough catch, but in this 2-minute drill, those are the ones you really hope your guys come up with.
Yeah, you don't want your guy to be able to take the out because it was a tough catch. You needed him to come up with that one, because if he does, it alters the perspective of this 2-minute drill, doesn't it?
To throw is Mitchell. Throwing on fourth down. Open man has got it. It's complete. Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this fourth quarter.
First and 10 at the 49-yard line.
The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's first and 10. Back to throw. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off at the 22. Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his second season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
The Bucs going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they get it with 16 seconds remaining on the clock. From the 32 now, here's first and 10. Again, it's Johnson. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. The Bucs forced to use their third and final timeout as they'll stop it with 11 seconds remaining in the ball game. So now they have to contend with second and 13 after the first down run goes backwards.
It's a loss of a yard. And it's third down.
So this one's over. It's a win for the Detroit Lions. And you've got to say, CD, it was the defense who had a big part in the W.
Oh, without question. When you force 4 turnovers, you get to enjoy the spoils of victory, don't you? It's rare that you force 4 turnovers and lose a ball game. That's almost unheard of. They carried this one home. You talk about celebrating with each other and being in a position where going forward, all you think about is, let's get 5 next time. They're going to be on the hunt.
So for Detroit, it took a few weeks, but they finally get their first one of the season here in Week 4. And they'll be able to enjoy this one through the bye week before they get back at it again. Meanwhile, for the Bucs, they'll fall back to 500 at 2-2. And they'll try to turn things around next week as they have a matchup in New Orleans against the Saints.